Hello, and happy Straturday, friends. Cyberry here with another Darkest Dungeon How to Use guide. Before I get started today, thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this guide with a friend. It helps immensely. Alright, let's get started. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into how to play the Exterminator. The Exterminator was released December 26th, 2020, and it was last updated the last day of February 28th of this year. The canon name for the Exterminator, I'm going to butcher this, Le Fantôme, I believe? Could be anything. Let's go through the credits real quick, though. Turk MC made the concept and the art, the design of this character, and did all the sound. Snorlaxo did the coding. 54NBB did the animation, and Sasiji did the code assistance. So let's just start diving into his stats to begin with. The max HP at opening resolve is 24. This will progress by 5 at each level up to a max of 44. This is the high end of average. This is the same as the last class I covered. It's very comparable HP-wise to a Vestal or a Highwayman. So, going to be just meaty enough to survive, but I wouldn't say they have above average health. Dodge starts at a 0 and progresses by 5 at each level up to a max of 20. This is the low end of the dodge stat. It's the same dodge progression as a leper or the plague doctor would get. So it's not the dodgiest person in the world, but it's sufficient if you trinket him to bring the best out of that, or if you guard him, or whatever it might be. The prot is 0, same as everything else, seemingly. Speed is actually great speed. It starts at a 7, and it progresses to an 8 at 3rd resolve, and then to a 9 at 5th resolve. So this guy's going to go first a lot. He's got the same speed stat as a Plague Doctor or the Jester. So he's going to go first a lot, and he's going to be very consistent going before most of those enemies, especially if you are not being surprised. The accuracy is normal. I've got a quirk on mine adding 5 to my accuracy, but overall plus 0, just like every other class I've covered. The crit starts at a 2% and progresses all the way to a 6%. This is barely what I consider below average. It's the same crit progression as a Man-at-Arms or a Flagellant would have, so very comparable with those classes, and you're actually going to find a lot of comparisons between him and Flagellant in the next stat as well. The damage looks rather low. It'll start at opening resolve from 3 to 6, and then at final resolve it'll only be doing 5 to 11. Now those are seemingly low, but he's doing a lot of status afflictions with his stuff, with his kit, and you'll notice that damage is not necessarily what he's after. Let's just put it that way. So I like that they just toned down the overall number, and then made it so something like Stomp Out, a stun move, can do full damage, rather than, having all these be a negative 60, negative 70, yada yada. So, diving straight into his combat skills, the first of which is Apprehend. Apprehend is usable from rank 1, 2, or 3, and can target any opponent on the opposing side. It's a melee attack with an accuracy base of 95, a damage modifier of negative 35%. It bypasses guard and breaks guard, and it will pull the target 2 spaces with 100% base, and it has a plus 100% move skill chance versus marked opponents. This will also have a chance to debuff the target so that they cannot be guarded. Second ability is Collar and Contain. It is usable for rank 2 or 3, and you can target rank 1 or 2 on the opposing side. This is a melee attack with an accuracy base of 100, a damage modifier of negative 100%. This will debuff the target for minus 40% damage with 100% base, and it will also debuff the target for minus 3 speed with that same 100% base. This also disables Collar and Contain, and I believe that debuff is for a few rounds, so it basically shuts itself off. So if you have multiple exterminators, you can't Collar and Contain multiple foes at the same time. The third ability is Trap, and is usable from any rank, and it is usable to target any rank of the opponent. It's a ranged attack. The first time you use it, it has an accuracy base of 110, a damage modifier of negative 100%, and a crit mod of negative 100%. So it can't do damage, and it cannot crit by default. This will lower their dodge by 7. It will mark yourself and activate Riposte. And this is where it gets interesting. It is a riposte tech move that basically disarms itself. Or, if the next turn comes around and you haven't had that riposte proc yet, you use it again and it will do this second use chunk down here instead. It has an accuracy base of 110, damage modifier of plus 20%, and a crit mod of plus 5%. It will stun with 110 base, and it will bleed with 100% base, 2 points a round for 3 rounds. It will debuff them for minus 4 speed, and it will clear the riposte. So this is a one-trick pony riposte. You set this up, and they'll either waltz into your trap by attacking you, or you'll kick the trap over to them the next round by using this again. And either way, it's going to do a good chunk of damage with a decent crit bonus, and it will have a chance to stun and bleed along with the normal debuffs. So this is a fun little move. I'm probably going to have it on my equipment later when I bring him out into a dungeon. His fourth ability is Smoke Out. It is usable from rank 2, 3, or 4, and it targets the entire enemy party. It's a ranged attack with an accuracy base of 100, a damage modifier of negative 80%, and a crit mod of negative 5%. What it does is it blights the entire enemy party, 110% base, which is pretty good, for 3 points a round over 3 rounds. And it will debuff them for minus 7 dodge with 100% base. This will clear all enemy corpses. They'll just melt away, so to speak. But the thing is, it has a chance to also blight all your allies at a 90% base, 1 point a round for 3 rounds. So, he puts on the hose, so to speak, and he might hit a friend, but more or less he's going to make those enemies wish they had worn hazard suits. The fifth ability is Exterminate Them. It is usable from rank 2, 3, or 4, and you can target any opponent. It is a ranged attack with an accuracy base 105 and a damage modifier of negative 100%, so this is not going to do damage. It marks the target, and it will debuff them. Their bleed resistance and blight resistance will go down by 20%, and they will receive bleed and blight damage more by 20%. So this is a good setup move if you want them to bleed or blight faster than normal. Especially good, I'm thinking like the flesh boss is actually pretty good, I imagine, for this. It's a very interesting move. Now the sixth ability is Sanitize. It is only usable once per battle. I don't know if that goes up at higher level. It hasn't by level 4, so it might, but it hasn't then. What it does is it's going to hit all of your allies, including himself, and they're going to recover 5 stress. And it will buff them to take 10% less stress, and it will buff their bleed, blight, and disease resistance by 25%. So this is a cool little move. It's his only friendly move, so we're going to run into why that's important here in a little bit. And it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun for keeping stress management down and for making sure you get less bleeds and blights on your foes, or on your allies, excuse me. The seventh ability is Stomp Out. It's usable from rank 1, 2, or 3, and you may target rank 1 or 2 on the opposing side. It's a melee attack with an accuracy base of 100, a crit modifier of plus 4%, and it will stun the opponent at a 60% base. It's going to receive a plus 50% stun bonus on that versus blighted foes, and it will do plus 40% damage versus blighted foes. And it will also have a plus 30% stun skill chance versus beasts, and an additional plus 30% damage versus beasts. So if they're already blighted, this stun is going to be insane, and even more insane if they are a beast. So this is the one, like if you're kitted out to maximize your stun, which I wouldn't advise. He's better in other ways. You could theoretically stun somebody. They're going to get the plus 50% in the next round against stun resistance, rather. And then you still might be able to surpass it if they are blighted and a beast. So it's a kind of fun little synergy move here at the end. Real quick, let's go over camping skills. He's got the generic Encourage, Wound Care, and Pep Talk. And the first unique camping skill he has is Study the Quarry. It's a time cost 2 ability, and you target one companion, and they're going to receive plus 10 accuracy for 4 battles, plus 10% crit versus bloodsuckers for 4 battles, and plus 10% crit versus beasts for 4 battles. So this is a kind of cool flavor move that's going to buff an ally, and you know it's cool that bloodsuckers and beasts are both on there. That very much fits his theme. The second unique camping skill is Sharpen Tools. It's a time cost 4 ability, and the party receives buffs for 4 battles. They're going to receive a plus 10% stun skill chance, plus 20% bleed and blight skill chance, and a plus 20% move skill chance. So this is a kind of fun way to make sure that your party is bringing their A game in the next 4 battles. It's going to set the edge a little bit. If you don't have anything else to use in your combat, this is not a bad way to modify your character's chances. His third unique camping skill is Preventative Practices. Time cost 3, and on yourself, you're going to receive a plus 80% disease resistance for 4 battles, and one companion is going to receive a plus 80% disease resistance for 4 battles. So you're just instructing one of your fellow fighters on how to avoid coming down with gross diseases from all these creatures out in the dungeon. So this can be really useful, especially if you have a party that naturally a couple of the party members are going to get more damage than the rest. It's a fun tech like that. And the final unique camping skill, Human Bait. It's a time cost 3 ability, and you choose one companion. They're going to receive plus 20 dodge for 4 battles, but you're also marking them for the entirety of those 4 battles. So, this is like some kind of pheromone has been sprayed on your friend. You are using that to your advantage, but they are also getting the edge in dodging. So this is kind of a fun little ability. I have no idea whether you can probably make the perfect party for this, if you think about it. Pick a class who's very good melee, maybe even a riposte class with a high dodge, and then just hit them with the human bait. Thorn comes to mind, but you'd have to really stack her dodge, and then just kind of massacre them as they swing at you in futility for the next 4 battles. So, real quick, the crit effect I should mention on this character type. When he crits, he carries with that a chance to stun the target he just critted. So he's going to have a 110% base chance to stun the target he had a critical hit against. This can be really fun, especially if you manage to land a crit on one of these AoE attacks. I have not. I had to look that up to figure out what its crit effect was. I haven't noticed it proc, but I'm not the most attentive player when I'm just playing in my spare time. So I'm eager to see if that works how I think it does. Let's see. Synergy notes to think of with this class. Going to work really well, obviously in Blight Tech groups, but also marked groups are going to help a lot as well. So if you want to put, or putting folks in who do extra damage against blighted foes, the Buried comes to mind as my own class, but also, more importantly, things like the Grave Robber come to mind. She works really well with him. Very, very good in Blight groups. Very good as a mark group as well. Now, as far as quirks I would lock on him, I don't have anything special locked on either of mine. Anything that's going to increase, his dodge, for one, because if you're going to be counting on trap, it'd be nice to avoid that incoming attack, because you are marking yourself. One thing I would urge you to do with the rest of your party, if they have a rather low blight resistance, maybe nudge that up, because Smokeout has that chance to hit all your allies. So if that's going to be a problem, take care of it early before you even get in the dungeon. Another thing you might want to do synergy-wise is to bring a Plague Doctor whenever you bring an Exterminator, because you can cure, let's say 2 people get blighted, one of them's the Plague Doctor, well, you can fix that within 1 Plague Doctor turn. So, not a bad deal. We're going to take a little bit of time here and go over some of the trinkets. Oh, I'm at the bottom of the list. This is going to be stupid. Oh, that was easy. So, skipping the ones I'm going to be using, I'll do those later. First trinket we're going to get to is the very rare Illegal Antiseptic. It's going to add a 25% blight chance versus your party. It's going to add a plus 40% blight amount versus size 2 creatures. And on any ranged attack hit, it's going to debuff the target to receive 40% more blight per round. And that debuff has 140% base, so that is balanced for end game. So this is a really interesting and honestly really cool ability, but it comes at the cost of 25% more blight chance versus your party. If that's not going to phase you, if you got a Plague Doctor with you, this is a good choice. Another option here is the rare trinket Choke Nozzle. It's going to have -7 accuracy if he's in position 1 or 2, but it's going to add 10 to his accuracy in position 3 or 4. This is good for a lot of his ranged attacks, because a lot of those ranged attacks have back rank utility, more or less. So this is kind of an interesting trinket if accuracy is your consideration. The Medical Wrap is the other rare trinket he has. It's going to change how Sanitize works. Sanitize is going to have a -125% stress relief skills, and a -2 speed, -4 dodge to his stats. But instead, that friendly skill, Sanitize, is going to heal 5 HP. So this is an interesting way to change it from a mild stress heal and buff move to a AoE heal move for your entire party. So this is a kind of way to get all of the benefits of carrying a Vestal in your party without having a Vestal in your party. You can fill that slot with something else, like a good single target healer or anything, honestly. The uncommon trinket, the Barbed Collar, has a -20% move skill chance, a -20% stun skill chance with melee skills, so this will not include if a ranged skill hits a crit. And it will add 30% debuff skill chance with melee skills, and on melee attack hits, it will cause bleed at 120% base for 3 points a round for 3 rounds. So this changes how a lot of his melee stuff works. It seems like an interesting choice. I love his stun move, so I don't know if I would necessarily use this very often, but in theory, he's got all these passive buffs to his stun move that even that -20 is not going to be crippling. You can still utilize that in certain dungeons or with certain party compositions. And the last trinket I have on here is the Rat Trap. It is the common trinket, and it's going to add 20% to his scouting chance if food is in the inventory, and it's going to add 10% to his trap disarm chance. He's a decent trap disarmer as well, so that 10% makes him good enough in those early level dungeons at least. I don't remember how he scales. Yeah, the 10% will make him pretty comparable at disarming traps, if your party needs that. The one I am taking out is going to have that medical wrap to change his sanitize into a healing ability. And it's going to have his crystalline trinket, the Caustic Mix. Caustic Mix removes 125% of his blight skill chance. And on ranged attack hits, it's going to instead inflict bleed at 130% base for 3 points a round for 3 rounds. On a ranged attack hit, it's going to debuff the target for minus 10% prot, with that same 130% base. So I'm going to have some fun slinging some bleed instead, because in at least the way it makes sense in my head currently, that means that I'm not going to be able to blight my allies, and then this says nothing about bleeding my allies. So I'm getting away with not inflicting anything on my allies in hopes of, you know, all I had to do was change it to bleed instead of blight. So it's not a bad trade-off in my mind. And then I've got a party put together. I should probably... I don't know which one of these you want. Should probably find a good mission for him to go on. Well, I need a low-level one. I have a party of 2 other attackers that do bonus damage with certain attacks against bleeding opponents, so this should be an interesting thing to experience.
Pace out the halls of your lineage once familiar, now foreign.
Alright, let's try this. Well, we want fights. So let's go over here. We'll get you later. Oh, perfect. I have a bleed comp and I ran into the stones. This is perfect. Well, let's see if I can get a stun instead. Cool, cool, cool. Well, we are going to hit Blight in the back. Is this gonna work? We're gonna set up Riposte with your cool crystalline trinket. Hit you with all these, just cuz. Unfortunately, that's not a good idea. So we're gonna try and stun this asshole. Bring it on!
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Yikers. Okay, well... I believe... Let's just let you blight out over there for another turn or two. Well, I'm going to do this just to see if it works the way I think it does. Oh, yeah. That feels good. Now, I'm going to, because I don't want to keep getting this stress dump, so I'm going to switch and hit him with this. It'll stress heal me as well, so that's nice. Get wrecked. Stupid damage dealing statue. This guy's dead before they get a turn, so I just need to focus fire.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Nice. Good work.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Okay, well, hopefully we don't keep running into statues, because it's gonna keep causing problems with our bleed comp. Hey, secret room. Fun, fun, fun. Well, this is the fastest way to the next fight, so let's go take that on. I should have checked the Plague Doctor. He had an option too. Matter of fact, I think he has the gear for it. Let's go down here and finish this guy off. Please don't be more statues. We don't need more statues. Oh man. Okay. Alright. Yikers. Oh no. The post guy didn't get stunned. Hey!
Festering fear consumes the mind. As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Get wrecked.
A death by inches.
Okay. And see, what I should have thought about, which I didn't,
Victories mount, so too will resistance.
was that I'm in Skeletor Land anyway. So, taking off this trinket, unfortunately, I did not pick the right kind of quest to show that off today. Surprised it took me that long to figure that out. Oh yeah, I gotta clear over here then. Okay, go way over here for this third combat. Is there another one? Good, okay. We're gonna show both these next two combats.
A shard of alien malignity.
Didn't think so. Oh. Yeah, okay. I don't have the right moves on you. Good to know. Well. Got one of my friends. Very unfortunate. Oh no. Stress and a stun. This is bad. Bring it. Should get a little bit done. Well.
Another
Hit him with that.
abomination cleansed from our lands.
It's not every day I gotta run up against this asshole. This is a level 0 exterminator, so if I can get him to survive, that would be nice. No. Alright, we got him down to under that 50% mark, so he's well into his second phase. Didn't expect that to work. Do a little bit of damage past that prot. setting the trap, bitch. Bring it on. Yeah? It's very sad that it only did that much because of all his insane prod right now. Nice blight. Well, I've got a clear healing target for this next round. Beaufortin! Yes! The focus.
A moment of clarity in the eye of the storm.
Breathe in, breathe out. I don't remember who made that song. It's an old song. I was gonna have another 2 fights just because I was fast forwarding through that last one, but this guy takes forever, so I might end it this one. Regardless, I have to say the best ability on the Exterminator is definitely Smoke Out. And if you're using a Blight comp, then you really can't go wrong. There's other trinkets you can do to accentuate that. If you're switching it to a Bleed comp, just don't do what I did and take him into the ruins like an idiot. Come on now. Good. Like to see it.
Executed with impunity.
Done with that stress healing, okay. Oh no, you blighted your friend. He's gonna wipe it before he takes it. Not fair. Okay, but he damaged himself for 5. We're golden. I was gonna throw a hissy fit.
It dies in the earth.
I was in full-on hissy fit mode. Here, let's just put that on him so I got room. Alright. Last combat. Here goes.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
This is the last combat. This is the last combat, guys.
The blood quickens.
Oh, man. You can't write that shit. That's perfect. Okay. Well, that's all. That's all I got for you guys today. Oh, man. Definitely play the Exterminator. He's a lot of fun. Just know what you're doing more than I did, and pay attention to what dungeons you're taking him in. But other than that, he's a really good class, especially for Blight comps and off-stress healing / physical healing. So, thanks for watching. Tune in next week for Let's Play Wednesday and the next Straturday guide. Narrowing down my choices for the next class guide on Straturday. I haven't decided yet. But anyway, thanks for watching. Stay frosty.
Doesn't matter who's the master.